Here I am in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and there you are watching this video thinking, let's live in Thailand. The first week of our 12-week series features two videos. In the first video, I explored the question, why Thailand? In this second video, I consider who should move here, and maybe who should not move here, by looking at reasons people find it difficult to live overseas. Be sure to watch this video to the end when I check in with Nieow, the Thai genie who lives in a kaunio jar. Let's live in Thailand! Who should move to Thailand? Are you one of those people? Is your family one of those families? To find out, let's ask the question, are you ready to adjust to all the changes you'll experience after moving to a new country? What kind of changes? Well, there will be culture shock, bureaucracy, weather and environment, logistics of living abroad, and discrimination. You'll encounter all of these when you move to Thailand, just like you would moving to any other country. Your job is to evaluate whether you and your family will be able to manage and adjust to the changes, and whether or not the advantages of moving outweigh the disadvantages. Will you look at these as challenges and opportunities for growth, or will they be burdens to slog through every day? Okay, let's go through that list. What is culture shock? Sociology says culture includes material culture, language, aesthetics, and values or religion. Culture shock happens when you experience a big change in one or more of those. Guess what? When you move to Thailand, you will experience a big change in every one of those. Take material culture. We usually don't think much about the things that make up our daily world. How soft is my toilet paper? Which side of the road am I going to drive on? What color are eggs? If you come to live here, many things you take for granted might seem to be turned on their heads. In Thailand, we drive on the left, like in the UK. Here, all eggs are brown. Well, except for the pink ones, but that's another story. Power is a hefty 220 volts, so it's not compatible with 110 volt appliances, but electrical outlets in Thailand look exactly like the American 110 volt ones. Good news though, over the years that I've lived here, Thai-style living has adopted many conveniences of Western-style living. I used to have to cope with squat toilets. Now I worry I'll be confronted with a computerized sit-down toilet with more functions than my iPad. When you find yourself in a big Thai city, you'll easily mistake it for a modern Western one. The transportation is just as good, often superior. The shopping malls and entertainment areas put Western versions to shame. New apartments and houses, HGTV luxurious and well-designed. On the other hand, you still have to watch where you step so you don't fall into the holes and drains. The telephone and internet wires overhead look like 19th century Manhattan, and crossing the street is like playing Frogger, only with real and dire consequences. Of course, no discussion of material culture would be complete without a mention of Thai food. Thai food is considered one of the great cuisines of the world. If a daily diet of Thai food isn't in your plan, with the exception of very rural areas, there's always Western-style food at hand. From Burger King to Sizzler, from great pasta to fine French cuisine. Personally, I thrive on Thailand's unique combination of chaos and convenience. You'll have to ask yourself if you're ready to adjust to new annoyances and novel comforts. Oh, you can handle what we're calling material culture. What about communication? Are you ready for a new language? คุณต้องตัดสินใจว่าคุณจะเรียนภาษาไทยหรือไม่ Eventually, you'll have to decide whether you are going to learn to speak and understand Thai or not. If you want to, it is possible to learn Thai. You can even get pretty good at it. There are books, classes, even YouTube videos. A real advantage when learning Thai in Thailand is that Thai people are very supportive of your efforts. They do their best to understand what you say, no matter how bad your pronunciation might be. If you speak Thai, you'll have much better success connecting with the people you work with or encounter every day. Learning to read and write Thai is more difficult than learning to speak. Looks pretty alien, doesn't it? Most expats don't bother to learn to read. Sadly, many even have no interest in learning to speak Thai at all. English speaking skills among Thai people has increased significantly over the last few decades, so most expats get along just fine with English. In big cities or areas with lots of foreigners, plenty of local folks speak some English. In the countryside, not so much. It's fine, just bring along your smartphone translation app. Will the language barrier be a frustration you can overcome? How do you feel when foreigners living in your home country can't speak your language? Thinking about that can be your motivation to grow by learning the language of your new home. Let's say you can adapt to the language differences. What about the aesthetics of Thailand? Music, art, drama, dancing, color and form. You already know that Thailand has a distinctive aesthetic style. It's part of the beauty of Thailand for many people, even a main attraction. Thai artistic and sculptural themes have developed over centuries with influence from Hindu, Khmer, Buddhist, Chinese, Greek, and Portuguese culture. Yes, Portuguese. This cup is a standard design from Lampang, Thailand, not far from here. This is the Portuguese rooster of Barcelos. That's not a coincidence. Portugal was the first European nation to make contact with the Ayutthaya Kingdom of Thailand over 500 years ago. Okay, Thai art is great, but what about Renaissance art, classical music, opera? If you're attached to a constant diet of Western aesthetics, you'll find it very difficult to meet your needs in Thailand. The frequency and quality of local and visiting performances doesn't compare to what's available in many Western countries. Western visual arts. I tried Googling famous Western paintings in Thailand. Google came up with 3: Nada, Bupkis, and Zilch. If you're ready for the adventure of expanding your taste in aesthetics, then Thailand is a great place for you to live. As long as you can live without Bolero, Madame Butterfly, Giselle, and Starry Night. Not everyone can. Having reconciled yourself to strange ways of living, an incomprehensible language, and streaming BBC's masterworks to get your art fix, are you now ready to take on new religions, attitudes, and values? 95% of Thai people practice some form of Buddhism. Just under 4% of Thai people practice Islam. Christians, Hindus, and others together make up just over 1%. Why is that important to you? Well, don't expect Christmas to be a day off, for one thing. You've survived culture shock. Piece of cake, right? Are you ready for Thai bureaucracy? Thai bureaucracy dates back to the Sukhothai kingdom of the late 13th century, so it has had lots of time to develop its own methods and practices. As an expat in Thailand, your interaction with government bureaucrats will be uniformly mysterious. To be successful in navigating the puzzling bureaucratic hurdles, you'll need to learn to keep a cool head. Abandon looking for reasons for the way things are done. Find out what you need to do, not why you need to do it. If some bureaucrat asks you for yet another copy of some document, don't ask why. Just go make the darn copy. If you don't think you have the patience to be able to approach the bureaucracies of immigration, banking, licensing, or whatever, then living in Thailand might be hard on you. Oh, it's not just Thai bureaucracy. Your home country is going to throw a whole lot more bureaucracy at you. I ran into a fellow at the doctor's office. He told me he was there because his pension required he get a doctor to examine him every year so he could verify he was still alive. Your home country will have a whole host of things to keep track of, other than just whether you're still breathing. I'll cover home country issues in more detail in week 3's video on moving to Thailand. But at this stage, you can start asking yourself if you are aware of all the things your home country will require of you once you move to Thailand. You're going to need to find out eventually. Nice weather today, isn't it? I just love the weather here. Some like it hot. Do you? Most of Thailand is considered subtropical. That means that it's hot and humid year-round. Plus, pretty much the whole country has a rainy season from May to October. The farther south you live, the hotter and wetter it gets. Then there is the smoke. Like most of Southeast Asia, Thailand is experiencing a crisis of seasonal bad air. It's caused by annual agricultural practices in the region like field burning. The severity seems to be increasing with growing agricultural output and climate change. When I first moved to Thailand 35 years ago, smoke was a problem in northern Thailand for a couple of weeks in May. Now, the smoke can start in February and last until June, reaching briefly as far south as Pattaya. If you're sensitive to heat and humidity or to bad air, or if you have any medical condition which might be adversely affected by this sort of climate, you should consider carefully whether this part of the world, not just Thailand, is right for you. But if everything else about Thailand is right for you, I wouldn't let this be a showstopper. Just be sure to consider weather and smoke when you are thinking about where in Thailand you want to settle down. One last thing it's important I point out. Once you move to Thailand, you are going to be a minority. That might be a new thing for you. It's very difficult to get permanent residency in Thailand. For men, it's virtually impossible to acquire citizenship. So in a very real sense, no matter how long you live here, no matter how well you learn the language and culture, you will never be a part of mainstream Thai society. Discrimination shows up in different ways. Women and men still have different legal rights in Thailand, whether citizen or expat. Foreigners are charged more to use some public services like national parks, no matter how long they've lived here. Even some private businesses have two-tier pricing for Thais and foreigners. For some expats, not being the privileged one is a new experience which generates a lot of anger and resentment. Will you end up angry, or will you be able to adjust to your new status in the social hierarchy? You have a lot to absorb from the 2 videos this week. Don't worry, there's no exam. This week was an overview to get familiar with the issues to ponder when thinking about coming to live in Thailand. Next week, I take a deep dive into the vast sea of information in getting your visa to live in Thailand. New videos come out weekly. Mark your calendar, like, and subscribe. My name is Yai, and... sorry about this, one moment. Hey, Nieow, may I come... Hey, what are you doing with my telephone? Yeah, of course I'll answer it. Quiet. Vlad? Oh, Vlad! Nice to hear from you. Oh, glad you liked the last episode, yeah. Oh, holiday in Thailand. Sure, there's lots of Russians here already. What's one more? Yeah, I heard you don't like flying, but I don't think there's a train from Moscow to Bangkok. Maybe talk to President Xi about that the next time you see him. Submarine. Well, there is a naval base near Pattaya. I suppose if you talk to... Oh, you already did. Well, let me know your schedule. Yeah, sure. You want me to take you to that restaurant Nieow showed us at the end of the last video? Yeah, the guys at the FSB will get a good chuckle when they see your picture with that sign. A baka baka. I'll keep this, Nieow. Thank you, and I'm not talking to you this week. As I was saying, my name is Yai, and I love living in Thailand. I hope you will too. สวัสดีครับ I'm going to use up all my minutes.